up on Volusia Magazine, we examine a centuries-old mystery, meet the new beach chief, and build an emergency kit for our pets. These stories and more coming up. And welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Tammy King. Volusia County is famous for its iconic beaches, but not as many people are familiar with the beach safety staff and the many roles they serve on the sand. Let's get to know the recently appointed beach safety captain, Andrew Etheridge, and learn a little bit more about his impressive team.
Etheridge was recently named the Director-in-Chief of Volusia County Beach Safety Ocean Rescue, but he's not new to the division. Etheridge's professional journey with Volusia County started 25 years ago as a part-time lifeguard. He didn't know it was the start of a career, but he's grateful it was. After a stint in retail management, Etheridge had an opportunity to attend rookie school at Daytona State College with the intention of working for the Daytona Beach Police Department. That fell through when the department enacted a hiring freeze. From there, he headed to the beach, where he served as a tower guard as the management and operation of Volusia County beaches evolved.
The two divisions that worked on the beach, we had the beach rangers and we had the lifeguard corps, they actually merged. And as luck would have it, my law enforcement certificate actually benefited me in that point. So in 1998, they picked me up full time. And then I ended up going to EMT school, picked up that certificate, and from there I started working my way up through the ranks.
In his more than 2 decades with beach safety, Etheridge has served in many roles, including criminal investigator, field training officer, and deputy chief before his latest promotion to chief.
As I transitioned over to a beach officer, we still hold all 3 certifications. So lifeguard, EMT, law enforcement officer. I worked in the different aspects of the job. We did some criminal investigations, we did some field training, moved into supervision eventually. So I worked into different different district supervision, and then just continued working up into higher levels into the administration. And, here I am today.
And all of that knowledge is important as Etheridge takes on the role of chief. He now oversees over 80 full-time employees and more than 300 part-time staff who are responsible for not only guarding the water, but also for providing medical services and law enforcement services to the county's 47 miles of coastline.
It's not just about sitting on that lifeguard tower and getting a good tan. Especially for my triple certified, we'll come in and we function in all 3 roles all at one time. And that's just our official capacities. Here in our beach department, we handle all of our permitting for commercial fishermen, for any beach events, anything like that. So there's a lot of administrative things that go on with the beach that people may not understand that we do. Any law enforcement call that you see in any community, we're going to have down here because it's the same people. Our community comes to the beach. Any medical issue that you're going to see within our communities, they bring those to the beach with them as well. Of course, the water safety and the rescues goes along with that. But the overall beach management, people may not realize that every traffic lane sign, every lifeguard tower, every conservation post, injured birds, sea turtles, the conservation efforts that my department manages is tremendous. So every aspect of the beach management is managed between my department and coastal and environmental and things like that. But my crew is heavily involved in all of that.
With so much responsibility, Volusia County Beach Safety is committed to maintaining peak performance. Earlier this year, the agency was accredited by the Commission for Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation, or CFA, for the 5th consecutive time, qualifying them for the highest level of achievement, Excelsior status. An excerpt from the final report submitted to the CFA commissioners sums up the exceptional role the agency serves. Volusia County Beach Safety is likely one of the most unique agencies in the country. The members of this agency are all certified in 3 different, and some might say disparate, disciplines: emergency medical technician, open water lifeguard, and law enforcement officer. It takes a special person with total dedication to perform all 3 of these functions, and all 3 on a daily basis. But don't just take the CFA's word for it, take Etheridge's.
So I couldn't say enough good things about my team. They're the most capable and competent group of people that I've ever met. There's not a challenge that they can't meet and overcome. We throw the most absurd challenges at them at times, especially with all these other things going on outside of their job. And they just meet those challenges. We'll get pulled into different roles throughout the county just because we have that ability to adapt and overcome. And they never say no. They show up, they put on a good show, and they work hard. And I don't have to make them do that. They just do it because that's the kind of people they are.
So what makes being part of the Volusia County Beach Safety Team so rewarding?
Most important thing for humans is self-actualization, right? So we are lucky that we are able to realize that self-actualization multiple times throughout our career. There's nothing better than going out and making a rescue and literally pulling somebody back from certain death. There's something that's very fulfilling about that, obviously. Whether even sometimes they didn't realize how close they were. Many times they do, but to be able to intervene when somebody would not have survived something and they did because of your actions, there's just really nothing better than that.
To learn more about the Volusia County Beach Safety Ocean Rescue, including career opportunities, visit volusia.org/beach. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Kate Sark.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help.
Swim near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash and fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
There we go. Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water.
Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful. See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
More than 5,000 pets in Volusia County end up in shelters every year. Sadly, many of them get separated from their owners and never make it home because they can't be identified. Well, as you'll see in this next story, Volusia County Animal Services and Volusia County Fire Rescue are teaming up to make sure that lost pets skip that trip to the pound and instead go straight home to their families, where they belong.
Volusia County Fire Rescue and Animal Services are committed to providing protection for our pets and our public. If you can imagine for a moment, you've lost your pet, what emotional toll that takes on you and your family.
So I'm here at Volusia County Fire Station 15, which doubles as the county's fire services training center. It's a fitting location because today, fire personnel are going to be training to use one of these. It's a microchip scanner. It costs about $250. But if your pet's microchipped and it ever goes missing, Well, one of these, it'll be priceless. So let's take a look and see how the rollout of the program's going. A microchip is the surest way to permanently identify a lost pet and quickly and safely reunite it with its owner. For that to happen, a wandering pet must be scanned using a microchip reader. Now, traditionally, this is done either in the field by animal services personnel or by taking the pet to a private animal clinic. With this new initiative, called Operation Fire Scan and Rescue, there are now additional convenient locations where a pet can be taken to check for a microchip. All 20 county fire stations.
I can't tell you how excited we are as an agency to participate in this program. Today is a good day for us. It's a good day for the pets as well in Volusia County. We're extremely proud to be part of this brand new initiative.
To launch the program, Animal Services bought a microchip scanner for every county fire station. If a pet that's been microchipped goes missing and then is picked up, a simple wave of the scanner will locate the chip and quickly lead to the owner's identity, address, and contact information. While the scanners are easy to use, they do require a little bit of training to know how and what part of the animal's body to scan to see if it's been chipped. On this day, the training began at Fire Station 15.
So the problem, why are we here? Why is this such an important issue, and why is it that we want to partner on such an important issue? And quite frankly, it's because too many pets enter local shelters. I'd much rather take a pet home than take a pet to a shelter.
With the training wrapped up, the county's fire personnel are ready to add pet microchip scanning to the wide range of services they provide to the citizens of Volusia County. Coco and Pogo, well, they seem to enjoy the training session, and so too did Lieutenant Jeremy Karaginas, who was among the first group to get the training from Animal Services.
This is a super great initiative. As firefighters, anything we can do in our community to help, we look forward to every day. It's a very special thing to return an animal to the home. So we look forward to it, and I'm so glad that we're doing this initiative.
As Chief Bailey explains, whether it's fighting fires or helping to return a lost pet, it's all about serving the public.
Ordinarily, our personnel are out fighting fires, responding to medical emergencies, conducting fire inspections, home safety evaluation, whatever the tasks. It all boils down to serving the public. Our motto in most fire agencies around the world is everybody goes home. And we want to include that with the pets. They too should go home.
So if you haven't done so already, please microchip your pets. And if you found a pet, bring it to a local fire station. Contact Animal Services. We just want to make sure that it gets home. They're already going to have the scanners. It is very easy and can be done in a matter of seconds. But the difference that you made for that family will impact them for the rest of their lives. So we want to make sure that that few seconds results in that pet being identified and ultimately reunited. And it gets to go home.
So remember, this, well, it won't work unless your pet has one of these. So get your pet microchipped. You can even do it for free at one of our community microchip events. Check us out on Volusia County Animal Services Facebook page and look for announcements for our next microchip event. I'm Gary Davidson.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Our very own grammar cop, has launched a special investigation into the mysterious case of the missing apostrophe in St. Johns River. She and Kevin Captain are hot on the trail of this apostrophe catastrophe.
captain and I are at Blue Springs Park in Orange City, and we're here on an important quest. We're searching for the missing apostrophe in the St. Johns River. Now, we brought this fishing net in hopes that we could catch it, and Kevin is combing the shoreline, but there's not an apostrophe in sight.
Nothing here, Pat.
Kevin, it should look something like this. So what gives? Why isn't there an apostrophe in the St. Johns River? As card-carrying members of the Apostrophe Protection Society, Kevin and I decided to do some sleuthing. We decided to get to the bottom of this mystery. Kevin, I think I see one. Oh no, that was just a heron. Back to our investigation. We discovered that the St. Johns River has undergone more than one name change. Before the Europeans arrived in Florida, the indigenous peoples called it the Willaca, or River of Lakes. Spanish missionaries renamed the Willaca River after a mission named San Juan del Puerto in the late 1600s. The river's new name, Rio de San Juan, or St. John's River, first appeared on a Spanish map created between 1680 and 1700. Let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Kevin, did you hear that? Dig deeper.
Aye, aye.
Way back in the 1800s, steamboats started bringing visitors to Volusia County along the St. Johns River, but I think they took the apostrophe with them when they left. Now check out this map from 1876. It shows an absolutely adorable apostrophe. So this helps us narrow our search for the culprit behind the dastardly deed, and it's none other than Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd President of the United States. In 1890, he established the U.S. Board on Geographic Names. The board, which is still active today, is mandated to standardize geographic name usage. Since its inception, the Board of Geographic Names has shown an aversion to apostrophes. By some accounts, it has stricken more than 200,000 apostrophes from geographical sites. Oh, the pain. So how come? We decided to ask Ann Shortell, Executive Director of the St. Johns River Water Management District, and she confirmed the board's apostrophe eradication policy.
We take great pride here at the Water Management District in the majestic St. Johns River. It's definitely one of Florida's greatest natural resources, and we spend a lot of time and energy protecting our water resources. I completely understand and share your frustration over the missing apostrophe. And I can't tell you the number of times that my spell checker on the computer has tried to autocorrect and insert the apostrophe. So this is a great topic. I'm reasonably certain that the Board of Geographic Names didn't really think this through. I mean, I'm sure it's difficult to put apostrophes on maps, and I'm quite sure that they didn't expect that the apostrophe would be used to show a possession of a natural resource. So that's the thing. In other words, rivers can be named for people. In this case, Rio de San Juan, the River of St. John, but they don't belong to their namesakes, right? So although there are scores of saints with the first name of John, I did look up, and as best I can tell, there are no St. Johns.
Thanks for your insights, Anne. But that begs the question, was the river named after St. John or St. John's? In addition to the St. John's River, you'll find no apostrophe place names across America, including Harper's Ferry and Pikes Peak. So was the Big Peak named after some guy named Pike or Pikes? Well, there you have it.
Hey, wait, Pat, I think I found something.
Kevin, that's not an apostrophe, it's a fishing reel.
Oh.
It's so hard to find good help these days. Now, the grammarian in me is deeply concerned about the missing and much maligned apostrophe, so I'm going to continue this quest. For Volusia Magazine and the Apostrophe Protection Society, I'm Pat Kewen.
And I'm Kevin Captain.
Living in Florida, I bet you have a plan for your loved ones in case of a natural disaster. But what about your four-legged friends? Kaylin Taylor has all the disaster planning details for the whole family in Solutions for Your Life.
The best way to protect your family from a natural disaster is to have a plan in place. Whether you have pets or livestock, following this plan throughout a natural disaster will help keep you and your family and your pets safe. Hello, my name is Kaylin Taylor. I'm the Ag and Natural Resources Agent for UF-IFAS Extension, Volusia County. Today we're going to go over all of the supplies that you will need and how to develop a plan for before the storm, during a storm, and after. Before the storm, you want to make sure that you have a collection of all of your supplies. For your pets, you want to make sure that you have extra feed bowls, your leashes, your collars, your ID tags for your pets, and then feed and water that you can transport. You also want to make sure that you have pet crates and portable crates that you can take with you so they can be housed safely at a pet shelter or at a pet-friendly hotel. The other thing that you want to make sure is you have ample feed and water for your animals, whether you have pets or livestock, and you want to make sure that you have enough feed and water for at least 2 weeks. If you decide to evacuate, make sure that you do so within 72 hours if you're transporting livestock. This will prevent high winds from potentially tipping over your trailer, and you avoid any debris that can come on the roads. Having secure fences is really important to make sure that your livestock stay on your property, don't get on busy roads, or access your neighbor's property. This example here, it needs new staples. It is loose, an animal could easily exit this part of the property. Have at least 25 fence posts on hand, 2 strands of barbed wire. If you have field fencing, you want to make sure that you have panels of field fence. Tools on hand, hammer, pliers, fence stretcher, in order to make the repairs as soon as possible. Before a storm, if you have to remove any branches or trees from your property in order to protect your structures or your fences, it's important to have the proper equipment. Chainsaw, fuel, bar oil, and protective equipment. This is all essential, again, to protect you and make sure that you're safe when you're removing these trees and limbs from your property. Make sure that you have at least 2 evacuation routes from your area. In case there is a high level of traffic that you need to avoid, if you decide to evacuate, make sure that you notify your friends and family that you're evacuating and then where you're going. After the storm, you want to check on your livestock. Check for injuries, check for illnesses, and make sure that they have safe high ground that they can go to. The other thing you want to do is check the perimeter of your property and all of your fences to make sure that they're still secure and none of your animals can escape. You also want to make sure that they have clean water and feed and hay. A lot of natural waters, such as ponds, can become polluted after a storm, so you don't want to rely on them. We have a couple of different options that we're going to show you on how to deliver water to your livestock after a storm. So here we have 2 different options that can be used in order to store water for your livestock operation. Whatever container you decide to use, water storage is really important. Water quality is also important. You want to make sure that your containers are food grade and that you sanitize them. So 1 teaspoon of unscented bleach per 1 quart of water is how you want to use these. You also do not want to store your water in direct sunlight, and you want to make sure that water is only stored for a period of 6 months. Don't rely on electricity for your pumps. Having generators, solar power, or wind power can help make sure that you have access to your wells after a storm.
Unfortunately, COVID-19 continues to make a significant impact here in Volusia County. Community Information Director Kevin Captain sat down with healthcare leaders to discuss how our medical community remains diligent in the fight against the disease.
To talk about the surge in COVID-19 cases in Volusia County, we recently sat down and had a conversation with Volusia County Chief Medical Examiner Dr. James Fulcher, Advent Health Daytona Beach Chief Medical Officer Dr. Joe Smith, and Halifax Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Margaret Crossman. One staggering truth tied to the recent surge are the number of deaths in our younger population. So, Dr. Fulcher, you have a customary amount of autopsies that you do. Now you're seeing more younger patients come to your operations?
We are, yes, sir. With COVID, during the first wave, the patients were older. They had lots of comorbidities. Now, with the Delta variant, we are seeing younger patients with fewer comorbidities become sick and unfortunately die. The reason is largely the Delta variant, its increased activity, and then the fact that people aren't as interested in wearing masks and social distancing as they were in the beginning of the pandemic. I think our attitude about the virus has changed. I think younger people, unfortunately, have a sense of immortality. This can't affect them, and it's not true.
Most of us at this point knows somebody who has succumbed to the disease or has been hospitalized on a ventilator. What cases can you talk about, maybe de-identify, to just bring to light the emotional significance that families are going through, and particularly for those people who might be on the fence still with deciding, is vaccination right for me?
I have been given permission by our chief nursing officer to talk about her story. She has a 43-year-old son who has been on ECMO, which is heart-lung bypass, in our ICU now for weeks at Daytona campus. And his name is Josh, and he was the only member of that family that didn't get vaccinated. And I have heard over and over, that, there was this wish, maybe if we had pushed him a little harder, maybe he wouldn't be in that situation. Or, if maybe there hadn't been so much misinformation out there, maybe he would have made the choice to get the vaccine. Some of the most heartbreaking feedback I've gotten from some of our nurses is they tell me over and over, as patients are critically ill, I'm talking, about to be sedated so that we can put a breathing tube in, those patients will say, is it too late to get the vaccine? And it's so hard to say yes.
One of the things that I think is so telling is that we've had, over these past few months where we've been tracking who was vaccinated, who was not, we've had no deaths in the vaccinated group under the age of 60.
Wow.
The age range of our deaths have been 24 to 91.
Yeah. We're seeing them in the 20s too, for sure.
And there was a married couple. They were unvaccinated. They were in their 50s, and they had COVID symptoms for just over a week, both of them. They came into our facility when one of them became more short of breath, and the other was just feeling like, I'm not getting better. So they both came in. They both qualified for admission at that time. They actually were beyond the 10 days, so they couldn't get monoclonal antibody. And of course, they were given all the treatment that they needed at that point in time. The husband went on to require high flow oxygen, and he stayed there, as most of them do, for a couple of days. But fortunately, he turned a corner and he started improving. His wife, on the other hand, progressed to need mechanical ventilation. By the time he was ready to be discharged from the hospital, our team had to approach him about end-of-life decisions for his wife. Mm-hmm. And on the day he was discharged, he was rolled to her bedside, and there, when all the artificial support was turned off to be with her. And he went home a widower. And those stories just, 2 weeks prior, they were a happily married 50-year-old couple.
There's a lot of guilt here, a lot of guilt. And I can't imagine refusing the vaccine and then having to think about that. It seems like a real dangerous game to play. Because the vaccine has such little risk to know that, in Dr. Smith's example, the trees are going to burn. The tree that may burn might be the one closest to you. Who are you going to give the virus to? It's not going to be someone in California. It's going to be your brother who's immunosuppressed, can't get the vaccine, your elderly mother. And we see a lot of that. Older people die, and then, of course, there was a birthday party or something, or there was an event, and we wanted to blow out the cake, and that was inconvenient to have the mask on. And then everyone was singing, and, I didn't get vaccinated. I'm a healthy 24-year-old man. I do fine. Unfortunately, my 98-year-old grandmother doesn't do well. So, an incredible amount of guilt. So, please get your vaccine.
As this deadly pandemic continues taking so many lives around the globe and right here in Volusia County, we urge residents to take safety precautions at home, at work, and while you're out in the community. Protect yourselves and each other and help prevent further spread of the virus. To hear the whole interview with Drs. Crossman, Fulcher, and Smith, visit the County of Volusia YouTube page and click on the Community and Crisis video.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org.
Well, that wraps up Volusia Magazine. Thank you so much for spending part of your days with us. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the news tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. A new radio show airs every Friday with rebroadcasts Sunday and Monday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Tammy King. And as always, have a fabulous day on purpose.